Look, you hear them niggas mention my name? Tell them niggas they don't know me. Real shit though. Look. Savage Fendi, ballin' cash in your designer purse. Let's hit the mall, I put you on the Bath and Body Work. Barely button, titty piercing, pull you out that shirt. Niggas bricking in your DM cause it never worked. Savage Fendi, ballin' cash in your designer purse. Let's hit the mall, I put you on the Bath and Body Work. Barely button, titty piercing, pull you out that shirt. Niggas bricking in your DM cause it never worked. Like Chris with this ball, money rich like I'm Paul. I got chips in this wall, this a rich nigga law. Take your panties in your bra, doggy style when I hit. Baby tat. What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people, man? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe, and I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. The recipient of Hot Topic, man, Hoover Gumby, once again, man, he making that list. He making his rounds. You know, things getting very spicy, my boy. You know what I'm saying? It could be very controversial in these streets at times. So, however, y'all make sure y'all go check into that Bath and Body Works video, man. You know, got more on the way. We gonna push that envelope. We gonna push that line. Now, the reason I chose to speak on this Gumby and Big U situation, because we got to, man. You already know we got to, you know what I'm saying? We ain't been through them stoops. We ain't been to these prisons, you know what I'm saying? You know, we know of some of these situations, you know, that are being spoke of, and, you know, just overall, you know, from the aspect, you know, of a dude who have lived through the cultures, you know what I'm saying, and lived through these streets and lived through these same survival tactics, you know what I'm saying, and been through these same jail facilities, you know what I'm saying, state, federal, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, man. I remember some of these stories, man, and I have been a participant, you know what I'm saying, of things that had transpired from years, you know what I'm saying, before I ever even, you know what I'm saying, thought about reaching prison, you know what I'm saying. So in this take here, man, we got Gumby, you know what I'm saying, Hoover Gumby, you know what I'm saying, out the Hoovers, you know what I'm saying. He's speaking on Big U. So man, you know how I go on this internet. You know, you can be the one that gives into the internet, you know what I'm saying, gives into the chat and what the people have to say. You know, you can just, you know, do your 1-2 step, you know, and place how you feel and keep it moving, you know what I'm saying. So I've been hearing, you know, they've been saying, ain't no need to say no names, that, you know, a lot of people are feeling like you know, Gumby is speaking too much as far as on these podcasts, you know. So now my business ain't come from my way, just something I heard. And when I heard it, I kind of chuckled. I'm like, okay, they probably like, you know, this Big U thing and other stuff that's been going on, you feel me, like, you know, he making his rounds. But it's like, you know, people gonna have their opinion, and, you know, if it's not the people that's on camera, they gonna be against it. And also, if it's facts of validity to what you speaking, or something you and live, who can tell you how to speak or which way to unload your truth. Only thing I can say about this situation that I would speak of, that I would kind of be like, is that I don't know how long Gumby been out, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how long he been out, nor have I looked in to try to see how long he been out. But we know, I think it's safe to say that Gumby been out longer than 6 or 8 months, you know what I'm saying? We all know you went down on this little indictment. He down there in MDCLA. So before he went down, as Gumby was saying, Big U was running the streets, running amok, you know, got this reputation. A lot of people would tell you, hey, man, you know, that's the character of Debo, stuff like that. But have I heard stories, you know what I'm saying, about Big U from different people from different hoods that might varies and offset what other people think about Big U or the things you hear about Big U? Yes. But these people haven't came forth and spoke their truth or spoke these situations. So, you know, in situations like that, I always felt it was my need to stay in my place because this ain't nothing I witnessed. You know, this is something somebody telling me, you know, which it can be truth to it, but they don't want to get on camera and speak about it. They ain't spoke about it. So I ain't about to be like, hey, what's the name told me this and just speak on it. Now, being that Gumby is somebody who went through this and is just speaking on this truth and speaking the fact of the matter, I just feel like it would have been better placed and spoke about when Big U was out here, you know what I'm saying, before the indictment, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Gumby been knowing this information. But then again, it ain't for me to judge a situation that I don't stand in or I'm not in. You know what I'm saying? Gumby did it the way he wanted to do it. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? We here. The milk has already been spilled. But we about to get into this content, and y'all already know, man, it's the halfway and the half effect we gonna commentate.
From LA. Big U is like one of the figures that you have to check in with.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles.
Well, I heard about all the allegations, and that's all they are, allegations. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. They don't know what this man did. You know what I'm saying? They, like a lot of people who judging him, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, like we always against law enforcement. We always, you know what I'm saying, pray that our brothers come home. You know what I'm saying? We can always deal with what we deal with on the streets. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no, you know what I'm saying, strong black brother, and that's what he was. Over, like I said before, I went to prison. I'm saying I was 18 years old. I'm saying I opened up High Desert State Prison. I'm saying I was in I was in the first race riot with T Black from Black P Stone over a fucking penny. You know what I'm saying? So I had an opportunity to meet y'all calling him Big U right now, but at the time, you know what I'm saying? On Hoover though. Listen, I mean, like, I'm really not supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, speaking on, you know what I'm saying, other people's business or characters because from a gang, you know what I'm saying, we really don't do that. But at this point, you know what I'm saying, I feel like this is important to me for me to, you know what I'm saying, impart my feelings about Big U, you know what I'm saying, to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is a very powerful figure, you know what I'm saying, in our gang culture. And respected and feared. But at the end of the day, Go did some PC shit. Hoover. Go turned Muslim. He dropped his flag on Hoover. He was a Crip when he went to jail, and he dropped his flag. I ain't seen nowhere on the Crip application where you can drop your flag for 16, 15 years and then get out of prison and then come back and control and be the whole leader of LA. No, once you drop your flag, it's over with. Whether you turn Muslim, Christian, or whatever, and that's what he did. Big U was a Muslim his whole time in prison. I seen a blog where he said he knocked out like 30 Mexicans or whatever. Right. I wasn't there for that. I didn't hear anything about that in prison. You know what I mean? But that's my assessment of him. You know what I mean? Basically, like, he was a Muslim in jail. That was the last time I seen him. I believe his name was Hannibal. And he wasn't just a Muslim. He was a bean pie Muslim.
Like, what is a bean pie Muslim?
A bean pie, a Malcolm X. He dropped,
like, he was in the Nation of Islam?
Yes, completely. He was no longer seen as a Crip. And to illustrate that, even that fact a little bit more, we had a situation to where my gang and the neighborhoods went to war I'm saying, when I was in prison. And
So I finally got my claim for my car accident. I'm a little bummed. Really? They only offered me.
Big U, which was Hannibal at the time, he basically got a pass. The day my homeboy Straw Dog, HIP from 07, got killed in Folsom, I was in Hot Desert, and my celly was the homie from 11 Deuce, you know what I mean? And he had the yard, basically meaning that he was like, he had the keys, and you know what I mean? He was a little bit older than me, and he knew a lot of different, older, gang members from different gangs, and he was, fairly acquainted with, Big U, who name was Hannibal at the time. And on the day that Straw Dog HIP got killed, they call yard recall. So every.
So look, we about to get right on to it, right? So we know how it goes. So if you don't know how it go, you about to get a brief bar of it here. So a lot of dudes definitely does this. Definitely happened in the feds. It probably happened to a minimum in the state, but I'm pretty sure it's worldly. A lot of people go all bad or do something wrong, and they'd be gang members or dudes to the streets, and they'd turn to the Muslims for help and are turned Muslim, to be reborn by taking a shahada and being registered, as a Muslim. Muslims look at their blood as being sacred, so if you touch one of their brothers, they go on a war behind their brothers. But it's crazy, man. Like, and it ain't nothing wrong with telling your story, because your story is your story. Definitely some shit you've been through. Can't nobody tell you, that's what I hate about this gang shit, where people be trying to tell you, oh yeah, you shouldn't smoke on this shit. Like, look, bro, I'ma do me. I know what to speak on and not what to speak on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do nothing foul. I might do something that you dislike, because you dislike something don't mean that I'm wrong. Now, I just wish Gumby, would have put this information out when you was out, you know what I'm saying, on everything, because the fact of the matter, if it's a fact and it's true, because this is how it go. Like, he's definitely right. I'm not about to go here and throw all these PC allegations. It is what it is. If it's it's PC if you go to jail and you turn Muslim because you did something wrong. Now, I don't know if Big U did something wrong, you know what I'm saying? You already know we heard the allegations from Eddie Boy, you know what I'm saying, the different stuff like that. That's their business over there, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too much in it, because at the end of the day, just like Gumby said, you know how people try to place it all you from the other side and, and stuff like that. So I'm going to say this. If you did something foul and you join the Muslims, that's PC. Now you don't have homies that been in jail and been on Crip time or been on gang time, and they just decide that gang banging might be enough for them, and they decide to turn Muslim. I don't see that as PC, as long as you not straddling the fence and playing with the game, you know what I'm saying, and that's what you standing on your deen, you know what I'm saying, as a fully converted Muslim. And as Gumby gonna explain and say, you have homies on there who are Muslim, you know what I'm saying, and are Crips, but they're on Crip time. But they go, you know what I'm saying, do their religious thing, you know what I'm saying, have a personal relationship with Allah, you know what I'm saying, and, you know what I'm saying, after that, back to the Cripping or whatever the case may be. So he said that Big U placed his flag down and wasn't banging for 15, 16 years and was able to come back to the streets and obtain power and start tripping. And it's a cold game out here, man. And when you start looking at your identity and history, man, a lot of shit gonna start upsetting you, and a lot of shit gonna start playing out and offshooting other shit, man. It's a cold game out here, man. And I'm telling you, man, as long as your soul light and you can sleep at night, that's all that matters. Because with these people talking about and with these people placing out there, you can't get caught up in that shit on everything. Can't get caught up in that shit. So I was under the impression, I always knew that Big U was a Muslim, but I was under the impression that he still obtained his status he still obtained his status as a 60, but was just, doing his thing, in Islam. You know what I'm saying? Because as me, like, I was in jail, and I went to Juma, everything, all that, but I still obtained my status as a Crip. You know what I'm saying? I never dropped my rag. You know what I'm saying? I was still banging. So like, yeah, like, man, it's a cold game out here. I always thought that you was Crip and Muslim at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, so if this is what he's saying, it's factual, then like the proof is in the pudding. Like, shit, it ain't much to be said. But we about to get off into the rest of this content. You already know, man, it's the halfway and the half effect. We gonna commentate.
They call yard recall. I'm saying, so I'm saying everybody's going back to their assigned building, and as we're going to our buildings, we're getting, I'm saying, tidbits of different information about what happened. I'm saying, first we heard that it was a riot in Folsom, and then we heard that a black got killed, and then we heard that it was a black on black situation. So we're waiting to go back in our buildings for yard recall, and Hannibal comes through the work exchange gate, and he's calling my big homie, and he's basically asking to speak to him. And at this time, I'm saying, we in high desert, so it's one man up and one man down, and that basically means that, like, it's wartime. And then in prison, it's a situation to where it's probably like 30 or 40 blacks to 200 or 300 white boys and Mexicans. So if I'm asleep, you have to be up. If I gotta go take a piss, you gotta come with me. I mean, so the day in question that we were talking about, I'm saying, you hurried over and, like, talked to the home, and I was a few feet away from, where they were talking at. And he explained, he said, Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm sorry for your loss, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the homie, like, looked at him like, what you talking about? And he, went on to say, oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know, Assalamu alaikum. You know what I mean? He gave a name of the dude from 40s who killed the homie, and explained to us that the 60s didn't have nothing to do with it. And at that point, the homie explained to him, like, that we would investigate it, thanks for the information, et cetera, et cetera. So when he walked back to me, because I was only standing a few feet away, he asked me, did I hear it? I heard it. So now I know that it's war. And at this time, I'm probably like 19, 20 years old. And like I said, it's yard recall. So we have the information that we needed, that the homie, died, by the hands of, the neighborhoods. So immediately we plotting revenge. I mean, one of ours dead, we gonna make one of y'all dead too. So the only neighborhood 60s, actually the only neighborhoods that was up there was, I believe, Little Squeak was behind the wall, and Hannibal, which was formerly known as Big U. So now it's to the point to where our building officers are calling us by name to come in. Me, I was like, saying, like, let's get Big U. But one of my older homies who was a Muslim, kind of like, not even kind of like pretty much told me, Gumby, shut the fuck up. And he explained to me that that's not Big U, his name is Hannibal. And he explained to me the difference between a devout Muslim and him. And what he said, he like, look, I go to Juma, and I, believe in Allah, and I practice as much as I can, but I straddle the fence because I'm still over here dealing with Hoover politics and prison politics. But Hannibal, which is Big U, he adopted to Islamic culture completely. He dropped his flag.
All right, so bam, you know, we gonna get briefly into this this unaliving that he spoke of, and then we're gonna go ahead and get on up out of here. And it's crazy, this happened back when he was 18, 19, you feel me? I was a young dude, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't even thinking about going to jail yet, you know what I'm saying? When Straw Dog was unalive, you know what I'm saying? I know the participants, you know what I'm saying, that was said or allegedly to unalive, you know what I'm saying, Straw Dog. But being that, you know, he didn't name them, you know what I'm saying, and he, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna drop the names either, you know what I'm saying? But this story, man, this is like a legendary prison story. This is like one of the prison stories like on them 4 yards you hear, or at least I heard when I came in my time. And like I said, at that time, probably at least a good 15, 20 years had passed since Straw Dog murder. But the Hoovers was definitely tripping about Straw Dog and over Straw Dog, you know what I'm saying? You know, had to be one of their reputable members to where, as I said, 15 to 20 years down the line when I was in prison, it was still stuff happening behind this Straw Dog murder, you know what I'm saying? People still pressing play, you know what I'm saying? People hearing the legend, people feeling like that they got to step up to the plate as Hoovers and defend the Hoovers' honor, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it go when you strongly willed about something and you feel some way about something. So, as he said, he 18, 19 on the yard, 20 years old, fresh. They get the news, you know what I'm saying, from Big U, but Big U is going as Hannibal. They get the news from him that, you know, Straw Dog had passed. You know, Big U bring it to them like, hey man, you know, Straw Dog had passed. I don't know if y'all know anything about y'all loved one passing. You know, he drop it to them. Who did it? You know, it wasn't a 60s because it was a dude from 60s whose name was involved in it. I'm not gonna drop his name. I know the dude from 40's name and the dude from 609. So I guess Big U was going out there on behalf to clear the air as to it wasn't the 60s. But y'all know how I go in that prison system. Neighborhood is neighborhood. So whether 60 did it, 5'7", 5'8", or whoever did it, neighborhood is neighborhood in that instance and in that settings like that, you know what I'm saying? So, however, they get told that. So he say, you know, the Hoovers, they go back to plotting. Hey, we got to get up, you know what I'm saying, for one of ours, you know what I'm saying? That's a bad look, you know what I'm saying, if we don't respond. So Gumby say, in his mind, either he under the impression that Big U is cripping in Muslim, like he on Crip time, but just, you know, doing this Muslim thing on Jummah certain days, or he just, in his mind, engraved Big U. He ain't seeing the Muslim thing. He tell his folks like, hey, man, let's hit Big U. Let's go ahead and pop it off for him. And he say one of the Hoovers who was on Hoover time but was a Muslim had to explain to him the difference. Like, look, I'm from Hoover. Like, if something happened with the Muslims and the Hoovers, I'm going to ride with the Hoovers, although I'm Muslim. I practice my faith, you know what I'm saying, go to Jummah, you know what I'm saying, do my 1-2 step, going about my business. But if something crack, I'm here with the Hoovers, but I'm Muslim. The thing is with Big U, he's not Big U no more, or whoever you think he is and that you seen. He's Brother Hannibal. And he's on full Muslim time, and for us to attack him would only wage war with the Muslims because that's the time he on. He's not up here on neighborhood Crip time. And yeah, man, it's a cold game, man. It's a cold game out here, man. So that's just something, you know, I wanted to bring to the forefront and some I wanted to speak on. And yeah, like I said, you know, Gumby been out here and it's his truth, but I would have liked it for him to get these interviews or to come forward earlier when Big U was out here to see what Big U had to say, because, you know, people allow Big U, you know, to go around and say how he felt and what he stood on, and didn't nobody contest that. People allowed that to be stood on. So it's just like, I feel like in a time when people be standing on stuff and saying what they about, and people be having smut and knowing different stuff and be choosing not to say nothing. And, you know, I understand, you know, some people that like to exercise the will and keeping their mouth closed and or coming on camera with certain things. But hey, I just think when you place yourself on camera and place yourself before an audience and you speak in a certain way, and if there's anything out there to trump that, that should be able to be laid forward too on camera. But with that being said, I'm going to conclude that there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe because it don't cost you nothing. And press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
Why you ain't winning, bitch ass nigga? You know why you ain't winning, nigga? Cause right now, it's a nigga up grinding and working harder than you, nigga. Get your bitch ass up, nigga.